I just received in the mail my advanced copy of Artistic Vice, the Collector's Edition, and I have been working on this painstakingly, lovingly. I just can't say enough how much I have been honored and excited about this version, not only because I'm doing right by Daniel, because I know he would be super stoked for this version, but the love that went into this came from the love that came from his bandmates in I.Band. And if you don't know who I.Band is, the members of this band are just as important, I think, as the songs in a lot of ways, because they were his church buddies. And we've got Mike West, Dale Dungeon, Tom Gruda, Donnie Spencer, Brent Conkle, Fred McMahon, and of course Daniel Johnston. I personally have been I spent a lot of time with Mike West, I spent a lot of time with Tom Gruda, of course I spent a lot of time with Dale. Donnie, Brent, and Fred and I have kind of been more online buddies. But it has just been absolutely amazing working with the bandmates over the last year on this album. So we're gonna go a little bit deeper. So I just wanted to say that I was very excited about the hype sticker because I thought Daniel would really appreciate me sharing the fact that Rolling Stone magazine, and at the time, it was a really big deal to Daniel. I mean, a really big deal that Artistic Vice, him and I.Band got reviewed. And here's just a couple of the little nuggets I pulled out. Artistic Vice is a joyful cry of deliverance. The search for sincerity in left-of-the-dial music knows no scoutmaster more honest than Daniel Johnston, Rolling Stone magazine. And so, of course, I had to come up with this little piece of copywriting, but it's basically, this collector's edition on light blue and peach swirl vinyl includes a second LP with demos, outtakes, and rehearsals of this now classic garage rock masterpiece. Now, I was the one that kind of started to use the word garage rock because Daniel thought of this as his garage rock band. He also called it his psychedelic band. So again, the great thing about honoring your friends, and in this particular case, my friend Daniel Johnston, is you kind of know what you're doing because you've talked to the man himself. And he called this his garage rock psychedelic album, but we painstakingly vectorized the original cover that I got from the original album that came out in 1991. And it actually, I think, looks clearer and better than that one because it doesn't have the screen frequency on it. But anyway, I kept the original photo on the back, and it's got, you know, the usual information. This one has a beautiful gatefold, and I spent a lot of time digging through the archive, and I talked a lot with Dale, and actually Kramer did this wonderful tribute to Dan, sort of going through the process of working with him. We found some amazing pictures. Actually went to West Virginia. I took a picture myself of Chuck Picklesheimer's geodesic dome where they recorded this album, which is a whole other crazy story. Well, basically, the reason this album is so special is because if you're a super fan, like I am, you want to hear about the process of this record. And if you go to side C, we have demos, rehearsals, and outtakes. And we have 2 unreleased songs that Daniel actually wanted to be on the album, but there wasn't room. So we actually found All Good Children Got to Die and Christian Martyrs is on side C. So that is worth the price of admission right there. However, we got to keep going. This was such an amazing time in Daniel's life because it was after a lot of the incidences that you've heard about that we won't go into right now. But he was kind of rediscovering himself. He was finding himself back in West Virginia after being in Austin and going through so much in Texas and in New York City, as you heard about. Ultimately, what I'm getting at is Daniel was in a very special time in his life because he was back with old friends and he was playing what he loved the most, rock and roll, and he always dreamed of having a band. And he had little smatterings of bands leading up until this album, but this was really Daniel's band. I mean, they were all his church buddies. They kind of some of them went to different churches, but they all got together to rock in his basement, and we handpicked these songs together as a team, and we picked the ones that we thought the fans would enjoy, but more importantly, we wanted to kind of create a time capsule of this great album by putting it all together so that, yes, you can listen to the original side A and B of Artistic Vice, remastered by Kramer, I'd like to add, and then you can sort of dovetail it with C and D. But Daniel kind of had a little 3D motif going on here, and it's in blue and red. So to honor Dan, we made the label kind of 3D looking, right? We did the blue, and actually this is the first time I'm seeing it, how this peach came out. Oh, hell yeah. So it looks so good. So I don't know about you, I'm just an Xer, but back then when we were growing up, we loved to listen to albums for hours and hours and hours, and we loved to flip through lyric books. And so to honor Daniel and this great album, we went and not only put the lyrics in there so you could follow along, but I put the original Rolling Stone review in here so you can read that in its full glory. I found this amazing drawing of Dan's called May I Reign Eternal, and it shows the dead dog's eyeball. That's only for you super fans out there, you know what that means. But he was obsessed with eyes as a very young child, and his obsession moved into not only the dead dog's eyeball, as we all know, but his eye band, and also the name of his record label. We also found original lyrics that Daniel, in his own handwriting, from the actual Artistic Vice era, and we just found some cool drawings drawn in that particular era, and really, that's all I got for you. At this point right now, you just got to go get your own copy of it and see what you think yourself. But I think Daniel would be very proud of this. Him and Mike West, of course, bandmates eternally, probably rocking out in heaven right now. The rest of us that are still here now, we have a wonderful collection of Daniel's Artistic Vice with his now famous eye band.
I feel so high. I feel so high. I feel so high. I feel so high. Everything is so much better now that we are back together.